Ready? The kingdom of heaven is like treasure hidden in a field, which someone found and hid. Then in his joy, he goes and sells all that he has and buys that field. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant in search of fine pearls. On finding one pearl of great value, he went and sold all that he had and bought it. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a net that was thrown into the sea and caught fish of every kind. When it was full, they drew it ashore, sat down, and put the good into baskets, but threw out the bad. So it will be at the end of the age. The angels will come out and separate the evil from the righteous and throw them into the furnace of fire, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Have you understood all this? They answered, yes. And he said to them, therefore, every scribe who has been trained for the kingdom of heaven is like the master of a household who brings out of his treasure what is new and what is old. This is the gospel of the Lord. Thanks be to God.
Okay, you can bring props. Morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Morning.
How do you like your free sauna?
Yeah,
All you gotta do is step outside.
that's right.
I think it works out pretty well. Anyway, I was supposed to do this back on May 31st, I believe, of this year. And we talked about it in February, and here it is, almost August, and now I get to do this.
Amen.
So things have changed quite a bit, which gives me a lot more to feed. Everybody knows that back on November 5th, I had heart surgery, okay? And I'm gonna pass these around, and you guys can take a look at it. Okay, this is where this all starts, I got, okay? And after we do this, I'm going to burn these. There's a reason, I told my wife took that picture, by the way. And I asked her, I said, what are you doing? I says, who wants a picture like that? It's not even my best side. And I just,
It's
like,
your front.
yeah, but it's still not my best side. And I kept looking at it, and I realized that there's something more there in that picture than just me laying there being kept alive by a bunch of machines. There's a story.
Yes.
There's God's plan in that.
And all the machines.
Amen.
He made a plan for me, and He saved me. And he did two things at once. That's how amazing He is. I don't want to give you, Eric knows, and I don't want to give you details. I was having a rough time, July, August, things were going really well, and I was getting frustrated, and I started making my plan. I didn't talk to God about it, I didn't pray about it, it was my plan. This plan's going to be great. Then I had something go wrong with my knee. Lo and behold, go to bed, get my knee like that, and then I get told I need heart surgery. And boy, did that go fast. Did not pass the stress test. Did not pass go to like $200. Did not pass the angioplasty. Here's your surgery. And let me tell you, God did it perfect. He gave me 10 days to think about it. Any more days longer than that, I probably would have been going ballistic. And out of all this, I stayed calm. And I stayed calm because of my belief in God. And on that Saturday, we're going to jump around dates. But November 2nd at the men's group, Mike Charvis here from the men's group, thank you. Mike Bixler did a prayer for me. And it calmed me down. And he said something to me that still rings in my ears to this day. He goes, Mike, just remember, no matter what happens, you win. He goes, you either meet your maker or you stay with your family. My first thought I really wanted to say was, well, you don't really know my family. But he was right. No, not you. I'm talking my family, not your family. My family. No, not you. We'll get to you. So, anyway, and I'm sitting there going, how is this that one calming statement, the Spirit fled through Mike to say that statement to me, that basically all my nerves kind of went away in a moment. It was amazing. Then I come here on that Sunday, and I feel everybody pray. And I don't know if you set this up or not. I think you did, but I don't know. But when I was here, they played one song.
That's right.
There is no doubt in my mind, God's sending me a message right there. Song, random song, Biggie picked that day. for the next 24 hours, including when I was in the bar that Monday night, I had that song running through, I had that earwig running through my head. And it's so right. Be bold, be strong. God's got you. He's got you planned. You just got to listen. The problem is I didn't listen. I listened to myself, not God. I was smarter than he was. I knew what I was going to do. No, that's not true. He got me. But that song it continues to run through my hair because it is so true. You have to have faith. You have to believe that God knows what he's doing. So then my wife and I are in the surgery room, getting prepared and all that. And now, full flashback, 10 years ago, I had kidney surgery. I was bawling like a baby. I was scared. I was shaking because I didn't have God in my life. I thought I was going to die. I thought I was going to be grandma. I was terrified. This time I'm in surgery, having heart surgery, which is 10 times more than kidney surgery, right? And I was calm as a cucumber. And Cindy, you're witness to that. However, I did make one bad statement to you that I still remember when I was being reeled out. I looked at her and I go, I'll see you on the other side. Well, that can be taken two different ways. And I really meant to say, I'll see you when I wake up. I did clarify. But as I was being wheeled down the hallway into the surgery room, I felt God's presence. I felt all those prayers. And I was so calm because I knew that God was going to put me out on the other side so I could be back with my family. I knew it. I had no question about it. God had told me, I still need you. You still have got a lot of work to do, my man. And I need you there. I don't need you here, I need you there. And I felt so calm. So I wake up from surgery, and you're in a ward that is, there's a lot of noise. Because they leave the doors open, and there are a lot of patients crying, pain, and all that. Yeah, you get enough pain medications, you're fine. But I made a decision right then and there. I says, I'm going to be the class clown in this ward. These nurses go through so much of sadness and patients nagging them. One of the nurses got bit by a patient. And he said, okay, now what can I do? Well, I had fun with them. They wanted to come see me because they knew I could break up their day. And that's great. So my favorite was a little old lady, probably about 80 years old. And she comes walking by. I'm laying in my bed, and I'm sitting on my bed, I go, you go, girl, way to go, you can do it. She looks at me, she goes, so can you. And I'm like, wow, being schooled by an old woman. I was like, okay, but she was right. And I love the fact that you could get the smiles on these people's faces because they deal with, I don't say, just, excuse me, everything. And then you get COVID. And I started going back and I'm going, those nurses and doctors, what they're doing is amazing. I mean, there's no patient that they have that's going to do that because there's so much pain. Or they're knocked out, they're on a ventilator, they're on, I can't think of the word. They're on ventilators, they can't talk, they're put in a coma, so their stress levels got to be so high. And that's why I try to make everybody's day. Part of God's plan is very simply make somebody's day. Like, I think it was Mike Bixler says, when you're in the grocery store, Shirley, you still work at Jewel, right? How much better would it make you feel if somebody says, well, have a nice day. Say, have a blessed day. That's God's message. That's God's plan. I mean, in my opinion, God's plan for all of us is fairly basic. Yes, there are details, okay? But the basic plan is love your neighbor like you love yourselves. Treat your neighbor like you treat yourselves. It's a basic plan. Now, individual plans are different. They lead you different ways. You went from rugby to preaching. Quinn decided he's going to go to...
Hillsdale.
What?
Hillsdale?
Okay.
Seminary?
Seminary, thank you. That's what I was looking for. Quinn's going to seminary instead of becoming a police officer. He changed his path. Howie and Vicky have a new path. Okay? Now, I'm going to get into that just a little bit. Okay? No, don't give me a look. I was in Nebraska when I got the message. And I have to admit, it rocked me. It did. Okay? But then driving home, I started realizing how selfish that was of me. It's not about me. It's about you and Howie. That's all about what you need to continue to grow. It's not about me. And then my car and my phone are having a fight right now. They don't want to talk to each other. And I have to admit, and you drive through Nebraska, there's nothing. I mean, and you go through Iowa, there's nothing more. And your brain starts thinking, because all your driving is going wrong, and there's nothing, but your brain starts thinking. And I started to think about what's going on with Steph and Vicky, Greg, and how we're leaving. In my mind started going, and I really need to be talked off the ledge. Cindy calls. At the exact moment that I needed that little, okay, God, help, and he sent me help. And they worked, the phone and the car talked together. And she talked me off the ledge. All right, because I needed to get it out. I needed to talk it out. And I started thinking about it more and more. And I said, you have your path. That's God's path, that's your plan. All right, you're following it, you listened. Okay, that's what you have to listen to that plan. He knows what he's talking about. I've been blessed. I was so blessed by God. Okay, I mean, I could have died on the operating table. But no, he saved me. He basically, as I say, he refurbished my heart. Not only did he give me physical strength, he rebuilt the heart piece by piece while I laid there, while the doctor literally took my heart out of my body, put me on a ventilator, put the heart over there, did what he had to do, cut paste here and there. And lo and behold, put it back in. And I really, at times, feel like a new man. Now, before the surgery, I felt invincible. You don't want to feel that way. But I like that feeling. But now, I'm a little bit less invincible. I know that at any time, I can't stand my fingers, I apologize. I know I'll go. I've done things I never thought I'd do. One is being up here. 10 years ago, if you said I'd be up here talking about God's plan and talking about how great God is, I would have laughed. I was like, you're nuts. But now that Mike Charter is here today, thank you for being here. We're doing a Bible study right now on big epic scenes of the Bible in the Old Gospel. And he had Moses, which is Exodus, which is one of my favorite stories. And he gave me the pleasure of helping assist in leading it. And I also never thought I'd buy a book on the Exodus. I never thought this would ever be in my library. Okay? Same thing you with Eric when you told me about William Barclay. I never thought I'd have these books in my library and actually read them. You know, they don't go in the bookshelf, but you know, you actually got to open it up and read. You know, how, Vicky? I never thought I'd understand the word Ober Amorgal. Okay, but and the reason I'm using the word Ober Amorgal is because I cannot say it. That was part of our Bible study. Was on the town of Ober Amorgal, and I said to her, I go, I don't know how to pronounce it. I even know where it is. And so saying, so you learn geography. You know, your Bible studies are great. You know, I think that's one thing I will miss is the Bible studies. But the other thing that I will miss is your Good Friday services, your Easter services. The one year you did it with the red lamp and the cross and the crowns. I go, phenomenal job. I says, I hope I don't get dementia, so I hope I never forget it. Because there are just so many things that you guys have done. You know, but remember, God's plan, it's you gotta, but things you gotta listen. If you don't listen, he's gonna go, oh, here's a hint. Here's a hint, here's a zap. Oh, you know, I did not have a heart attack. I was close to having a heart attack back in August. I was real close. So God didn't even give me a heart attack. He goes, I'm going to keep your heart healthy. The rest of it's up to me. You know, I can eat right and everything, which I'm not doing. But it's up to you to keep this heart open. But one thing God did do, he not only gave me a refurbished heart, okay, he gave me something else. He gave me the t-shirt to prove it. I have the t-shirt to prove it. So this is a reminder to me that I'm rebuilt. You know, Vicki, on our last one, we talked about vows. And I don't know if you remember mine, okay? But mine was very simple, become a better disciple. Because that's really the only thing I could think of. You know, and I feel like I've done about 90% like that. It's like that. 10%, I'm a little weak on it, I admit that, okay? There's some things I don't understand and I get frustrated, and I'm trying to change. I mean, if you guys don't know, my wife's going to have surgery in 6 weeks. She will have the worst home nurse possible, but I'm hoping with God's plan and God's hand, he will help me become a better nurse, because I'm terrible at it. So, you know. Website, I'm going to go to the website. I've taken it over, so officially me to run. I will do my best. I will try to get the video out every Sunday night. I can't guarantee it, but I will try. I will need a backup if anybody wants to volunteer. I can pretty much show you. Let me tell you, Steph did a great job. She made it so Monkey could do it. You gave it to Monkey, so you're good. So I just want you to remember that God's plan is you just gotta listen. Because the second time when I talked, I remember telling you, it was between twilight and waking up that I heard a whisper. that said, Mike, you need to talk about this. And I went to Vicky, I says, is that what it's like? Because she, and she turns around and she goes, well, no, man, it was different. So God talks to you in different ways. God could talk to you in a book. God could talk to you in music. God could talk to you to a grocery clerk. God could talk to you to anybody. You could even be talking to a coworker, and boom, the words that are coming out of a coworker's mouth, you thought you'd never hear. I mean, when I went back to work, it was like night and day. Everything had changed. Everything that had happened at work vanished. It was like it never happened. And I was like, that again, God working. God put me in 12-week timeout and said, Mike, I'm going to make you think about this. You need to really not do this. You need to stay, because if things had gone the way I wanted to be gone, I probably wouldn't have a job right now. I probably wouldn't have insurance right now. Things could have gone really wonky, really fast if I had gone to my plan. And God just said, no, I'm going to make sure you stick to my plan. You will do my plan. You know, he gave me a big message to do it, but sometimes us stubborn people need a big thing, like a bump to the head or heart surgery. I took heart surgery, you know. Vicki, you've been a mentor to me. I really appreciate that. Again, I love your Bible studies. I really hope we stay in contact. Howie, you've been a good shoulder to talk to. You know, I will miss you guys. All right, stay in contact. You know, Bunko. Hopefully we'll get back to Bunko ladies and guys who play it.
Someday.
Yeah, someday. Yeah.
Someday.
This is the new normal for us. All right. I do not think COVID was God's plan. I think, and that's my opinion, was the devil coming in and throwing water and just going, okay, let's see what happens. You know, and we may hear the bad, protesting and all that, but we got to pay attention to the good. The doctors, the nurses, the policemen who are trying to do their job. You know, you have to, you know, you pray for all those people that this will go away. Someday we will go to a new normal. God's got a plan for all of us, and we are all still here. Okay, 100 and some thousand are not. We don't know God's plan. Okay, I honestly think the devil kind of threw a wrench in it, and now we need to balance the scales. Our scales are unbalanced right now. And so I try to avoid news most of the time because there's nothing but bad news. I don't want bad news. I like the good news. I like hearing about the patient who survived 100 days, or about the doctor who saved so many lives, you know, or about regular people. Before this first came out, think about how many regular people donated their supplies to the hospitals. Why don't we talk about the good? We don't need the negativity. We need the positivity, because God's also about positivity. But just remember the main thing about the plan that you have. The plan is be kind to one another, treat each other with respect, and I honestly think the word "have a blessed day" when you go to the grocery store is the best thing you can tell somebody, especially in these days, because you never know the reactions that you're going to get. I've had some ladies go, "Yeah, whatever," and I've actually had a woman just turn around and she goes, "Oh, I've had such a bad day. I really needed that. Thank you." So you never know what you're going to get. It's awesome. So in closing, I would like to say again, thank you for your service. Thank you for your mentoring. Howie, same thing. I will miss you. Everybody else, I think the gathering got a lot of work to do. We need volunteers. If somebody wants to step up, I need backup for the computer, because with Cindy going into surgery, there's going to be a Sunday I'm probably going to miss. Okay? I think the gathering will survive. We just got to work at it. Okay? Again, God's plan. Sometimes you have to work with God and work with His plan, and we'll figure it out together. Anyway, thank you very much, and have a blessed Sunday. Amen.
Appreciate it, sir.
No problem.
Let me give credit where credit due. That was